And joining me today, we've got Fee and Sally, a couple of co-organisers for Deep Tech Melbourne. Hello.
Hello.
Thanks for jumping in. I think it'd be good to just sort of introduce ourselves and say a little bit about what we do. So I'm Ray. I come from a tech background primarily, but obviously interested in science and such like. So I've been keen to sort of build a bit of a community around originally around like space-based science startups, but I'm kind of keen in the whole deep tech field in general. But could you guys introduce yourself a bit?
Yeah, I can go first. I'm Fee. Come from a maths background. Went into traditional tech software for a bit. Got pretty obsessed with space and started studying astrophysics. And yeah, now I'm really passionate about regenerative farming and understand or believe how important us kind of restructuring the agriculture system will be, not only for helping climate change, but as well ensuring food security and redirecting the way that capitalism has brought us here to the state that we are in today. Also passionate about bringing people together, which is why I'm involved with Deep Tech Melbourne as well as Out in Tech Melbourne. And yeah, love science and technology. Also very conscious of where the investment is going at the moment, and know that there is a lot of opportunity in the deep tech world. So excited to be part of this meetup and this community, especially this year as software is dying out and other technology applications are rising up, and quite rightly so.
Hot take on the software as a dying out there. Cool. It was interesting you mentioned about like the sustainable farming practices. I was talking this morning with someone about AI and that they're how that gets a lot of popular press about being an existential risk, but much more pressing existential risk is things like food security and sustainable agriculture and such like. That doesn't really get as much airtime.
And saving the soil extinction.
Saving the soil. And Sally.
Hi, I'm Sally. I'm a recovering academic. Well, I've been a data scientist for about 3 years now, actually, this month. I'm a neuroscientist by background, but now I work as a data scientist for a small medical device startup. I'm really passionate about, I guess, bringing science to production and also not creating silos for people. We all generally work in really small companies, and I think in the deep tech community in Melbourne, we're all using really similar tools and technologies. And when you hear about other people speak on what they're doing, you can get new ideas. And so that's why Deep Tech Melbourne is really important for me. I also just generally love nerding out and hearing all about everything that everyone is building. I personally have a really big interest in health technology and wearable technology from a sports background, but then also just in general in terms of health. And I'm really interested to see where that goes in Melbourne, because there's actually quite a lot of people doing that at the moment. So yeah.
So I think an important point here, or important definition, is what do we actually mean by deep tech? Do you have any
yes,
succinct, clever way of describing it?
Yeah, so I always think of deep tech as bringing science into production. So anything that involves research and sort of background in science, and then actually getting that into some sort of, I guess, usable technology that's going to be put into someone's hands, or something that people use and get insights from, rather than just keeping it as pure research.
Yeah, I think that's a good one. I've always thought of it as like science-led entrepreneurialism. But, the critical part is that trying to use like a scientific method to approach not just like the science itself, but maybe also applying that to business practice as well. But why do we care about this? Like, what's the motivation here? Like, I guess my motivation was driven out of not knowing that that there were other people in Melbourne doing things in this space, and it seemed to me like everyone was working away in their little silos, and we weren't really aware of each other. So motivation for me was to try and connect these people and like become aware of what's going on and have somewhere to go and discuss and talk about these things and share our insights. Do you have any thoughts?
No, I agree, definitely. We can all learn from each other. We can all, create a community, make friends, establish collaborations with people. There's nothing, I think, that really is negative about it whatsoever. It's just sort of fostering knowledge share, really.
I think.
Yeah. Sorry.
I was just going to say, my motivation is I know how many smart, talented people are in Melbourne specifically, but Australia-wide, working in technology and science. And we are just not building things that are gaining global traction. I mean, you've got Atlassian and you've got Canva, but apart from that, the rest of the world is really kind of pipping us at the post, and there's no reason why that should be. And I really want to foster that community to make sure Australia stays on top of things. And I think we are in a very good place having that big science community and technology community here, specifically in Melbourne.
Yeah. There's a lot of med and health tech here in Melbourne specifically. It seems like there's quite a bit of ag tech happening now, even a little bit of space tech as well, which is nice. And hopefully, there'll be even more. I think a big thing for me is trying to use science and technology to have like a very positive impact, and like how can we maximize that impact and do it in a sustainable way as well, way as possible, not just like a environmentally sustainable, but like a commercially sustainable way. Like if you can build a business that can keep going and having a positive impact, that seems like best of both worlds. Okay, well, don't know what that noise was.
My dog.
There was just a dog burp.
Coughing. Yeah, he drinks water too fast and then he chokes on it.
Okay, all right, cool. Let's wrap it up there. I think this has been a bit of a good demo, a good test of our live stream, and like we'd like to do some more of these things in the future. Tonight we have our Deep Tech Melbourne meetup at Stone and Chalk at 6 p.m. Hopefully people can make it. Sally, did you want to give a bit of an intro for what's happening tonight?
Yeah, I'm really excited for tonight. We've got two females in the industry who are leading technology in two very different ways. So it's very much a health tech theme tonight. And so one of them comes from a pathway of just being a personal trainer, Olivia, who's developing a smart ring to detect menstrual cycle tracking. So it's a really interesting space, and it's really cool to see somebody in Melbourne sort of challenging big players in the game, I guess, like Oura Ring and things like that. So obviously wearable technology is something that I'm very interested in and is applicable to a lot of people. And the other one is a long-term friend of mine, Dr. Imogen Bell. We did our PhDs together and actually our undergrad, so we've known each other for a very long time. Imogen's actually a researcher, so is leading technology development out of a university, but is very unique and very cool in that she actually has an app called Mellow that's to treat depression and anxiety in youth. It's available on the App Store at the moment and is very much technology that's led by researchers and comes out of a university. And there's a lot of background research into the development of the technology there, whereas other players in the game, I think they are developing tools, but it's not so much based on science. So it's really cool to see these things being developed by scientists and clinicians and psychologists. So yeah, I'm very excited for tonight.
Yeah, it's going to be good. And tech gods willing, we shall be live streaming the event, and then there'll be a recording up on YouTube afterwards. So thanks, that was great. And if anyone's interested, come along tonight, jump onto the website deeptechmelb.com and join our Discord if you want to keep chatting. Obviously you can follow us on here, whether that's LinkedIn or YouTube. Yeah, it'd be good to connect and hopefully see you tonight. Okay, cheers.
Thanks,
Thank
Ray.
you.